Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm sharing with you 3 really powerful techniques that you can put into practice when it comes to eating a healthier diet in order to lose weight. Now, this is incredibly important because by the end of this video, you're not only going to have a better sense of direction on how to proceed with eating a healthier diet, but you're also going to have a much better sense of control throughout the process as well. So, let's get to it. Hey everyone, thanks so much for checking out today's video. If you're new to this channel, my name's Jim. I'm a physical therapist, and on this channel I post all sorts of content pertaining to the world of physical therapy and how to move better, how to feel better, how to get out of pain, how to live a more active and healthy lifestyle, and I also post content to help physical therapy students smash school and become the best practitioners possible. Now, if you're interested by any of that, please hit the like button and feel free to subscribe so you don't miss any of the content that I'm putting out. Okay, so when it comes to eating healthier and cleaning up our diet and making dietary changes, there's a whole world that we could unpack with this, and I certainly can't do that within one video. Now, what's great about the 3 techniques that I'm sharing with you today, though, is they can apply to whether you're trying to eat healthier, whether it's to lose weight to feel better about yourself or more confident with your looks, or if it's strictly for health-related reasons. These 3 techniques are all behavioral based, and they can be applied to pretty much any type of dietary changes or habits that you're trying to make. Okay, so I'm going to dive right into the first tip because it's one of my favorites, and it's an incredibly powerful behavioral based technique when it comes to learning how to eat healthier and make better food choices. All right, now tip number 1. This is a really cool and really powerful behavioral-based tip or technique that you can apply when it comes to learning how to eat healthier. And this is a really cool tip that I got from a company called Precision Nutrition a couple of years ago when I was doing my level 1 coaching certification with them. Now, if you haven't heard of Precision Nutrition before, these guys are a company who are, in my mind, simply the best of the best when it comes to helping others learn how to lose weight through appropriate behavioral changes, as well as how to coach others through making those behavioral changes and dietary changes. And so they work with general population and people who want to lose weight, live active lives, eat healthier, and they also help to train up individuals who want to learn how to become better coaches for others throughout that process. So if you want to learn more about them, I'll leave some information about them in the description box below. They've got a ton of great free resources, so be sure to check them out. So this behavioral-based tip here is simply learning how to avoid all or none thinking. Now, all or none thinking basically means you're learning to look at food and what you're eating on a continuum from bad to good rather than just either good or bad. Now, what's important about this is that a lot of times when people are trying to lose weight or eat healthier, they simply lock food into a category of acceptable, which is good, or unacceptable, which is bad. Now, there's problems with this because not only is this incredibly inflexible, but it's also really hard to sustain. So when learning how to look at food on a continuum from, say, extremely bad to extremely good, there's some immense kind of power and freedom that comes along with this. We no longer have to confine ourselves to either this is good and I can eat this, or this is bad, I can't eat this. And again, we have this sense of control now of going, well, how can I make this food that I'm eating right now just 10% better? How do I make it 10% better so that, again, it just moves up just a touch more on the continuum? Now, this 10% rule is really powerful because what it helps you to do is helps to, again, foster the mentality of this behavior where you're saying, all right, I'm always going to look to just make things a little bit better, a little bit more ideal. What this does in turn is provides you with a little bit more control. And again, it's much more sustainable to slowly clean up your eating habits rather than just switch everything from one end of the spectrum that maybe you've been eating your food from all the way to the other. So as a quick example, if we think about someone who maybe for breakfast is always having a coffee with 2 creams, 2 sugars, and a bagel with a smattering of cream cheese on it, well, again, that's our starting point, and then the 10% rule might say, okay, well, if I'm going to start cleaning up my diet a little bit, how do I make this 10% better? And maybe it's starting by going, I'm going to do my coffee, but I'll do 2 creams and 1 sugar, and then maybe I'll just have half a bagel with cream cheese. Now, again, you could take that example and make it different in a whole bunch of ways, but what that does is that, again, starts to foster the mentality of that we always have some sense of control without having to necessarily give things up entirely right away. So that's a tip I wanted to lead with right away, looking at food on a continuum from bad to good, and always asking yourself, how do you make that meal or that snack that you're having just 10% better than what you might normally have it to be? And again, this is really powerful because this is a consistent and sustainable measure that you can achieve as you work on eating healthier. The end result here is that you've created a behavior or a mindset of how to eat healthier, done so gradually over time, because when you're doing this gradually over time, it becomes an actual lifestyle change. We know that in literature that the quicker people lose weight, the more susceptible they are to putting it right back on. And a lot of times they're even worse off when they started. It's sometimes called yo-yo dieting, and that's that very inflexible, rigid approach where something is either good or bad and there's no in between. Very hard to follow, very, very inflexible, not how you want to be doing things. All right, now behavioral tip number 2. This is another really powerful one I got from Precision Nutrition a couple of years ago while working my way through their program. So this is all about setting behavioral-based goals as you learn to eat healthier, become more active, and live the lifestyle that you want to live. So behavioral-based goals are very different than the traditional outcome-based goals that most people tend to set. Now, an outcome-based goal is simply saying, I'm going to lose 25 pounds, or I'm going to add 10 pounds to my bench press, or these kind of strict outcome measure related goals. Now, outcome-based goals are good to set. However, behavioral-based goals are incredibly important to set, and there's a number of reasons why. So a behavioral-based goal is something that you're going to set in terms of what you are able to do and what you're able to control. So maybe your outcome is to lose 25 pounds, but an outcome is not always within our control, even a lot of times when we try and do all the right things. But a behavioral-based goal is completely different because it will allow you to retain a sense of control while you're going through this journey. So think of it this way. Maybe your goal is to lose 25 pounds. That's an outcome-based goal, but the behavioral-based goal around that might be, okay, for the next 6 weeks, I'm going to exercise 4 days a week for 30 minutes at a time. Now, this is really cool because in addition to your outcome-based goal, your behavioral-based goals that are always within your control are fostering a mentality to help get you to where you want to be. Now, this is really important because when people just set outcome-based goals, they can work really hard and do a lot of the right things, but maybe still fall short on that end goal. And this is incredibly defeating. It can actually lead us to feel rather powerless in this situation. But when you're setting a behavioral-based goal, you're retaining the sense of control because it is up to you as to whether or not you are going to do something as, I'm going to drink a certain amount of water per day, or I'm going to exercise a certain amount per week. Those behavioral-based goals are incredibly powerful, incredibly rewarding, and even if you don't make that outcome-based goal, you're going to have this behavior in place where as you keep going, you more likely will hit that outcome-based goal. So keep that in mind as you work to learn how to eat healthier and how to lose weight. Outcome-based goals are good, but you want to set all sorts of behavioral-based goals as well. So behavioral tip number 3 is all about learning how to eat slowly when you're eating your meals. Now, this sounds incredibly overly simplistic and maybe even silly, but there's some great research and evidence out there to show that when individuals eat slow and take their time, they actually eat much less food than if they're trying to eat quickly as if they were eating on the go. Now, in our society, it's always kind of this go, go, go mentality. We've got a lot to get done in our days, so eating slowly is something that we oftentimes don't do. But there's some neat research out there that shows when people eat slowly and when they do things like try and set their utensils down in between each bite that they're taking, or maybe they try to be the last one to finish their meal at a group or a table of other individuals, well, there's some really neat things that we're finding with people not eating as much food when they do that. Now, a great example of that, just one of many, is a research study done by the University of Rhode Island, where they basically took a bunch of healthy women and they sat them down, and in the study, they told them at one point for one meal to eat as quickly as they could. And on average, it was that when eating quickly, the women consumed 646 calories in 9 minutes. Now, in another eating session, when they told them to eat, but eat slowly, they found that the women, when they ate slowly, only consumed 579 calories in about 29 minutes. Now, what's also really cool about this is those women, when they ate slowly, they actually reported being more satiated or full for a longer period of time than when they ate quickly. And so if you can think about how quickly this would add up after one meal, after one meal, after one meal, well, that can start to make a pretty profound difference pretty quick. Now, I'll put some links to some of these research studies down below in the description box if you do want to check them out. It's not hocus pocus or anything like that. There's some really cool evidence behind eating slowly. So my favorite way to eat slowly whenever I'm hanging out with people, this was all pre-COVID, of course. Right now it's kind of the lockdown stuff and there's not a lot of people I'm eating with. But when I am with a group of people, I try and be one of the last people to finish. Again, that just gets me eating slowly. I probably indulge a bit less, and then I just wind up feeling fuller for a longer period of time. So make sure you eat slowly. Take your time to enjoy your meal. Again, it's always a gift to have a meal in front of you. Not everyone in the world actually knows when their next meal is coming. So take some time, even if it's just 1 extra minute or 2 extra minutes. It's a great starting point. Eat your food slowly, be mindful while you're eating, and you're going to find that you're probably going to be eating less. Now, one of the things we know with eating slowly is that by eating slowly, you're giving your brain more time to get caught up with the signals of what your stomach's telling you as you eat. So when you eat quickly, there's kind of this delay from which your brain starts to perceive what your stomach is telling you about being full. But by eating slowly, your brain starts to get that message of being full while you still have plenty of food left to eat, and then you wind up not eating as much. So keep all of that in mind. It really does add up. Even if it's just one meal a day or just slowing your meal down by 1 or 2 minutes, start with whatever you can and then just keep those changes growing until they feel appropriate for you. All right, now I've got a bonus tip for all of you because it's an absolute joy to share any information I can with all of you that helps you learn how to eat a bit healthier, how to be more active, and how to have more confidence and more direction while doing so. So this bonus tip here, it's really simple, but it's really profound when you implement it. It's simply to celebrate every little victory that you get along the way. So again, this is a journey, it's a marathon, learning how to eat healthier, how to become more active. This is all sorts of ups and downs along the way. So it's important that whenever you have a little victory, no matter how small it is, or if it's a big victory, celebrate it. So tell yourself that you're doing good things. Take some time, again, just to dwell on the fact that you're making good things happen. This is a great tip that Precision Nutrition really kind of puts into all of us coaches. You want to be able to celebrate every little victory you can. Get that momentum going. You're making great things happen. And when you do that, again, you're going to be in a better mental state for when you have the rough days. And again, it's going to keep you moving in a good direction as you work on your health and wellness journey. So there you have it. There are some great tips to start out with when it comes to learning how to eat healthier and how to start making some good dietary changes in your life. Now, if you have any tips when it comes to eating healthier and cleaning up your diet, I would love to hear what they are. Leave them in the comments section below so that I can read them. Really cool to learn from all of you out there because I certainly don't know everything. And if you have any questions about what I've covered, feel free to leave that in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer in a timely manner. So that's it for the video, everyone. Take good care of yourselves. I hope you're all staying safe and well these days. I hope you're making great things happen. Keep looking after yourselves. Keep looking after one another. Take good care, and I'll see you in the next video.